Yo, welcome to B-Boy Tech Report. This review is going to be on the CME XKey. I kind of liken it to the Apple Bluetooth keyboard. The reason I do is because it's so thin, The design aesthetics are really cool. You got 25 keys. That's 2 octaves. They're standard size keys. What that means is they're not mini keys, which would probably be about that big, and they're not full size keys, which will probably be about another inch. I don't know, half inch or something, a little bigger than that. And they have a cool synth action on them. So you will probably wonder, okay, what do they feel like? Because it's not the usual raised keys, right? You know, you don't have the travel that a regular keyboard would have. These are kind of buttony. I don't know if you can hear that. Right? Okay, so they are kind of buttony, but they're very playable. You know, you can move around on this guy pretty quick, right? And it's big enough that you can actually play on. You see on the written review, I have this sitting on my MacBook. With the MacBook, it's a perfect match. Really cool for that. What's different about this USB keyboard is that it has polyphonic aftertouch, or whatever synth you're playing, if of course it supports it. Also, you'll see on there that you can kind of go up and down in the octaves with these 2 buttons, so that you can have more than just 2, or at least you can play 2 higher octaves or 2 lower octaves. Then you got your modulation and your pitch. So obviously there's not 2 wheels on, the side. What you have here are a couple of buttons, but they're very touch sensitive. So it's not Bluetooth. That would be super cool if it was Bluetooth. There's a couple of products hitting the market that'll allow you to do wireless MIDI. But if you don't have that, this comes with this cool little orange cord, USB cord. You just plug it in right there, all right? And once you plug it in, obviously it's a USB, so you can plug this to your laptop. You can also use this with your iPad. That is, if you have a camera kit. Oh, by the way, if you're gonna buy a camera kit, you can buy a camera kit from Apple, or you can go on eBay and buy one of these cheap joints from China. Right? This cost me probably $6.99. And I can even plug in some other devices in there too. Works flawlessly. You'll spend a little extra time waiting on it to come from China, but that's a side note. But this is really solid made. I believe the case is aluminum, and this is a good design. I would imagine that this is what Steve Jobs and Apple would design if they designed a keyboard controller, USB controller. So, how's it travel? Obviously it travels well. Look how thin it is. This is a really nice piece. So the litmus test for these little USB controllers is how well it travels if I could throw it in my backpack and be out. Here's my backpack. Threw it right down in there. It's so unobtrusive. And you still have all of that room in there. See what I mean? Pounds. Actually, it's 1.3 pounds. So it's less than 1.5 pounds. That's pretty light. So the new iPad Air is 1 pound. This is slightly more heavy at 1.3 pounds. And you see it's really thin. I think it's as thin as the iPad Air. So if we wanted to deal with the size, this is an iPad 2. Just putting that up against that, you can kind of see what the size is like. You can see how thin it is. This is the iPad 2, mind you, right? So you can get an idea of that. If I had to put it up for all you crate diggers out there to get an idea, because I can say it's 10 inches, 12 inches, 15, whatever. I can say the widths and the measurements of it. But I like to put it up against stuff that all my beat makers would have in their possession. I think all of you will have records, right? So here I got the trusty Eddie Kendricks piece. It's a typical record album size. I'm not even sure what size that is, but line that up, that shows you how big this is. It's not even half, and it's a little longer. So if you have an album in your possession, you can kind of get an idea of how big this is. So let's make sure that I've covered everything. It says here it's ultra slim, it's lightweight design, that's right, 1.3 pounds. It's got 25 standard size keys, professional velocity sensitive and polyphonic aftertouch. USB MIDI compliant, so you can plug this up to any of your soft synths on your laptop, or for the most part, most of your app synths on your iPad or your iPhone, as long as you have a camera kit. So you have 25 velocity sensitive keys with polyphonic aftertouch, right? You have a sustain button. You don't have a mod and pitch wheel, but you have your pitch here, and then you have your mod here. And it's really touch sensitive, so when you're touching that button and you kind of, you know, wiggle it around a little bit, you'll get the effect. Alright, so that is the CME XKey. It's not buttony like you would feel on some of the other, those little those mini chord joints. The name is slipping my mind, but I just don't like the way that feels like a keyboard, like a typing keyboard. This feels like a synth. Alright, so that's the difference. You got both of these joints, and this is it. Look at that. This is your rig, ladies and gentlemen. Synth player, this is you. This is your rig. Take this, play your gig. This is what's up. This has been B-Boy Tech Report. Check us out next time. Got a lot of good reviews coming your way. If you're in the market for this is a good piece. What's it going for? I wish I knew. Check down at the bottom of the screen. It's going for this much. Bam, because I don't know off the top. So CME, the CME XKey. Cop that. Throw it in your book bag. Go play in the park. Peace.
B-Boy Tech Report.